Of course, this goes without saying, but in all honesty, I could have never imagined that I would be visiting with you this final time in this way and under these circumstances. But regardless, I want you to know my message today is the same as it would have been if we were together in Kearney, except it is supposed to be a little shorter, and I've tried to make it shorter, and I'm sure for a lot of you, you're clapping right now and hoping that I keep my word on that fact. The other thing is that normally I would probably tell a story or a joke about this time, and like I said earlier, I've been warned against doing that because under Zoom conditions, I can't see the reaction that's out there and see if I need to amend the story or the joke, and so we'll skip the jokes for today as well, unless the mood hits me at some point. But that there are no jokes in the talk at this point. You know, I've said it many times, and I mean every word of it. It's been an honor and a privilege to serve as the president of this fine organization. The opportunity has been a blessing, and I will be forever grateful to you for having allowed me to serve. Advocating on behalf of you, your farm, your ranch, and your families has meant the world to me. All the things that we've accomplished as an organization, we've accomplished together. And I remember that saying that Ronald Reagan used. Now, I don't think that he created this saying. As I have looked, there are others that are sometimes credited with the saying, but he used it very often when he said, "It's amazing what you can accomplish when you're not worried about who gets the credit." That statement is an embodiment of the Nebraska Farm Bureau. At Farm Bureau, we're a team. As county leaders, you are the heartbeat of this organization. But we all know that the team is much bigger than us. The Farm Bureau team includes those members who will never serve on a county board or attend an annual meeting, but they contribute in other ways, serving as ag pen pals to connect with Nebraska classrooms, connecting with elected officials to reinforce our policy positions, donating to our PAC or donating to our foundation. These are all efforts that contribute to our team's success. And we can't forget our partners at Farm Bureau Financial Services. They have and continue to play a critical role in growing our membership base. They are very much a part of the Farm Bureau team as well. So as I reflect over the last 9 years, I want to take a minute to highlight some of the major achievements of our team. On the policy front, we've worked tirelessly to advocate for needed property tax relief. As a result, we helped secure passage of LB 1107. That bill will yield the largest amount of targeted property tax relief for agriculture in more than a decade. Then, when the federal government, through the Affordable Care Act, made health care unavoidable for our members, for farmers and ranchers, we responded, and ultimately we were able to work with Medica to develop quality health care plans for our members at lower costs. Together, we've worked to grow demand for agricultural products both here at home and internationally. We've invested in efforts to grow our state's livestock and biofuel sectors, while at the same time pushing for new and improved trade all around the world. We've pushed back on animal rights activists and other extremists who've wanted to stop our members from using commonly accepted agricultural practices. And we've changed businesses who have wrongly painted negative pictures of what happens on our farms and ranches. Together, we've worked to turn away needless and far-reaching regulatory proposals like the EPA's Waters of the U.S. rule that would have trampled on property rights by telling us what we could and couldn't do on our land. We've led the charge to stop this Department of Labor initiative to prevent children from being able to work on the farm or ranch. And in doing so, we protected the ability to teach our children the values of hard work and how to get their hands dirty. When historic flooding and blizzards hit, we rallied together to provide support for those in need. We created a significant disaster relief fund to provide financial assistance in rural areas, and we put boots on the ground to help individuals and communities in need. In the face of a world pandemic, when agriculture markets were crashing and supply chains were in disarray, we went to work to make sure Farm Bureau members were included and eligible for federal assistance programs. And we helped provide resources and information on those programs for our members in order to offer some certainty in what has been very uncertain times. We've also worked together to move the organization forward in new ways to fulfill our mission. When it was evident more focus was needed related to the long-term viability of our cattle industry, we brought members and industry representatives together through our cattle market task force. Working together, we also established the Nebraska Farm Bureau Foundation to promote the vital importance of agriculture in the lives of all Nebraskans. Through foundation programming, we've been able to engage youth, educators, and the broader public to bridge the knowledge gap for consumers in terms of what happens on our farms and what happens on our ranches and how that relates to the products that they buy. We've expanded support for county farm bureaus. We've increased the number of regional managers available to provide direct county assistance and boosted home office support to assist counties in promoting their programs and their projects. We've placed a greater focus on leadership development for agricultural youth. We've strengthened our connection with FFA chapters across the state and continued to build our collegiate Farm Bureau programs. And finally, we recently completed the work of our long-range planning committee. The committee was asked to look at the trends in agriculture and identify the future needs of members to make sure Nebraska Farm Bureau is on the right path in serving farmers and ranchers over the next 10 years. These are just a few of the examples of how we work together as a team to serve Nebraska farm and ranch families. They are accomplishments we should all be proud of. As I wrap up, I want to offer a few thoughts on some things I hope you will keep in mind as the leaders of this organization moving forward. We talk a lot about what's good for agriculture. We often use words like farmers and ranchers and agriculture interchangeably, and I understand why. But as leaders of the Nebraska Farm Bureau, I think it's important we never lose sight of the fact that there is a difference between agriculture as an industry and the farmers and ranchers who are such a critical part of it. There are plenty of organizations out there who represent other segments in agriculture. Farm Bureau has always been and always should be about doing what's right for farmers and ranchers first. As agriculture evolves, it's important to never lose sight of that. Earlier, I talked about the critical partnership we have with Farm Bureau Financial Services and our agency force. It will continue to be important that we work in every way to build on the synergy that exists between the Federation, the Foundation, and our Farm Bureau Financial Services partners in order to grow membership. We are an organization that is based on membership. Rob talked about the membership numbers this morning. Growing membership is extremely important to the future of this organization. I also mentioned the work of the foundation and the growing needs in that area. There's a lot of fantastic work being done, but expanding that work is directly tied to financial resources. If you are not a regular contributor to the foundation, I'd ask that you seriously consider becoming one. On the policy front, when it comes to taxes, if we want to achieve meaningful property tax reform, we must find a different way to fund schools. Frankly, the larger schools in Nebraska are running the show when it comes to tax policy. They get the largest share of state tax dollars, and they have a tremendous influence over the urban majority in the legislature. The state of Nebraska has an obligation to make sure all students, no matter where they live in the state of Nebraska, receive financial support from the state. Addressing the grip that large schools have on the legislature is going to be critical to achieving school funding reform. Next, to be successful in a world where we as farmers and ranchers are a growing minority, we'll need to continue to expand our efforts and influence to ensure the right people are getting elected to office. That means greater engagement and member participation in our PAC and in our political process. Lastly, we must continue to focus, as we have, on expanding markets through international trade. Our prosperity lies in reaching markets beyond the U.S. borders. That's where over 95% of the world's pocketbooks and mouths to feed reside. Today, nearly 1/3 of our income comes from trade. It's critical Nebraska Farm Bureau continues to lead in that area. So it's time to come to the thank yous. And I need to say thank you to this wonderful Farm Bureau team. Thank you to you, County Farm Bureau board members and leaders. You are the backbone of this organization. Thank you to the state board members. This organization is fortunate to have individuals with your vision and commitment. Thank you for your support over this time. Again, thank you to Farm Bureau Financial Services and our agency force. And then I want to thank the entire Farm Bureau Federation staff and the Nebraska Foundation staff for their efforts to support our mission. If I were on stage in Kearney like we usually been, this is a time when I would have brought the entire staff of Nebraska Farm Bureau onto the stage, because each and every one of you do tremendous work. You are extremely committed to your work and you care about the organization. And more importantly, you care about our members. That's the most important thing. Last, but certainly not least, I want to thank my family. Thanks to my wife, Elma, for offering 2 decades of service and being there every step of the way on this great ride. I want to thank our son, Scott, his wife, Amy, our grandchildren, Sam, Luke, and Britta, and our daughter, Stacy, and her husband, Bobby, and my grandson, Bo. Thank you to our daughter, Sarah, who intercedes for me every day from her place in the communion of saints in heaven. Their support on and off the farm has allowed me to serve. They have made it possible. It would have never happened without them. So thank you all. I remember back to my acceptance remarks when I was first elected president of Nebraska Farm Bureau. I asked for your prayers, and I felt your prayers. I've told you that before. I again ask for your prayers as I move on, and know you will offer them. Your support of prayers and the friendship have been invaluable over the years and will never be forgotten. God bless you. God bless the great state of Nebraska. God bless America, and God bless Farm Bureau.